Welcome to Echoes of Empire, where we bring the forgotten stories of Britain's past back to life. London, before skyscrapers, before the Empire, was a city of mud, smoke, and restless ambition. People called it the heart of England, but it beat with hunger, fear, and fire. Beneath the tolling bells of St. Paul's, kings plotted, merchants schemed, and commoners struggled for survival. Was it truly an age of honor and faith, or a brutal struggle where only the ruthless thrived? Let's uncover the truth behind the myths of medieval London. The year 1215. The Thames glimmers dull beneath grey skies. King John sits on his throne, cornered, humiliated, forced to sign the Magna Carta. He believes he rules by divine right. London thinks otherwise. In taverns and markets, whispers rise, the king bleeds like any man. London's merchants have money. And money buys loyalty faster than crowns. When rebellion brews, the barons turn to London for silver, food, and men. The city becomes the silent engine behind revolt. While nobles chase glory on horseback, Londoners quietly master trade. They mint their own power, coin stamped with pride instead of crests. By the century's end, the crown depends on London's coffers. A city once ruled from above now pulls the strings below. In medieval England, power begins to change hands, from sword to coin, from castle to counting house. The legend shows us knights gleaming in sunlight, noble ladies in silk, and clean cobblestone streets. The truth? Filth, noise, and fear. The air reeks of tanners' pits, open drains, and human waste. Rats are everywhere. Children fetch water from the Thames, brown, poisonous, yet all they have. Disease hunts through every alley, plague turns life into a gamble. The so-called Golden Age is a test of endurance. Still, the myths survive because people need them. Stories of brave knights and loyal peasants make a cruel world bearable. When the Black Death strikes, wiping out half the city, survivors rebuild their faith, not in kings or priests, but in survival itself. From that darkness rise order and reform, new guilds, clean laws, and civic pride. London learns that suffering can forge strength, and that legends often hide the dirt they grow from. While kings fight their endless wars in France and Scotland, another war unfolds in silence: trade. Ships crowd the Thames, heavy with wool, wine, and spices. The smell of wealth fills the docks. Clerks keep ledgers as precisely as priests copy scripture. From these ledgers a new class is born, the merchant elite. They speak in profits, not prayers. They marry influence, not nobility. Their halls glitter with Flemish cloth and Italian glass, their children learn Latin, numbers, and ambition. By the 14th century, London's mayor rivals the king's own councillors. Decisions once whispered in castles are now negotiated in guild halls. Money rules quietly, efficiently, without banners, without trumpets. But prosperity breeds envy. Rival guilds fight for control, riots flare in Cheapside, justice bends to whoever pays more. The city grows rich and restless. Every coin tossed into a merchant's chest is another challenge to royal power. By dawn, the sound of church bells cuts through London's mist. Faith rules every hour, prayers before meals, prayers before sleep, prayers before facing judgment. But beneath the chants and incense, fear breathes. The church is power, and power costs. It owns more land than the king. It taxes the living and buries the poor. Priests sell forgiveness like merchants sell wool. Salvation, they say, can be bought, and the desperate believe it. Pilgrims crowd into St. Paul's Cathedral, clutching coins and hope. Candles burn for lost souls, for lost fortunes. Yet outside, hunger spreads, and heretics whisper in the shadows. If God is love, why does he charge rent? The Inquisition listens. One word against doctrine can send you to the stake. Faith keeps London's people obedient, but also broken. And still, they pray. Because faith, even twisted, gives meaning to misery. 1666, a summer night. A spark in a baker's shop on Pudding Lane turns into a storm. Flames devour the sky, red, roaring, merciless. Wooden houses explode like torches. The wind howls. The Thames glows with reflection of hell. Men run with buckets, women scream for their children. St. Paul's Cathedral, the pride of the city, collapses under the heat. For 4 days, London burns. When it ends, 2/3 of the city is ash. And yet, something changes. In the ruins, Londoners see not punishment, but a chance. Out of the ashes rises a vision of stone and symmetry. Christopher Wren rebuilds St. Paul's, bigger, stronger, eternal. The narrow medieval maze becomes a city of order and ambition. The fire didn't destroy London. It purified it. And from that smoke came the modern world. As London rebuilds, power quietly shifts again. Merchants, once humble traders, now control banks and shipping lines. They lend money to kings, and kings, in return, bow to commerce. The monarchy learns the art of negotiation. No ruler dares anger the city that feeds the empire. Parliament grows. Paper replaces sword. Decisions that once echoed in castles are now signed in ink on polished desks. The people of London begin to think differently. They no longer wait for divine rule, they demand rights, voices, progress. This is where democracy takes root, not in palaces, but in the crowded halls of the city. The medieval dream of knights and crowns fades into history. In its place stands something more powerful, an empire of minds and money. London's heart beats faster, louder, unstoppable. Centuries later, the ghosts of medieval London still walk among glass towers and subway tunnels. Tourists trace the old city walls, never knowing how many lives were buried beneath them. Every corner hides a story of betrayal, courage, and survival. The myth remain, the noble knight, the loyal peasant, the holy city. But the truth is greater. It wasn't kings or conquerors who built London, it was its people. The masons, merchants, bakers, and thieves who refused to fall, no matter what history threw at them. From plague to fire, from crown to constitution, they endured. They turned suffering into strength, chaos into creation. That is London's true legacy. Not myth. Not glory. Resilience. This was Echoes of Empire. Subscribe for more untold stories from the heart of Britain's history. London was never just a city. It was a test of faith, ambition, and survival. Its myths may have faded, but its pulse still echoes through every stone, every street, every dream. Because the spirit of medieval London never died. It simply learned how to rise again.